Hi guys, Kyung here, and we're actually going to start on this train journal. We're going to start. I have my big box of stuff that I've been collecting. I have my Tim Holtz scraps. I have these ideology Tim Holtz like collage papers, and my sister got me these for Christmas. So I should use them up, and I think that they'll match perfect. I've got some lace that Lisa sent me. It may or may not get used. It's going to be a pretty masculine journal, so I'm not sure. This old ticket that my niece had a lot of fun and punched holes in it. So she, with a pen, she punching the ticket, and I thought that it actually ended up looking really cool. So we're going to use that somewhere. This is the book that I bought that I'm very disappointed in. So it's not what I thought it would be. It's got, and I don't know if you can tell, but the illustrations are just really not great. They're fuzzy, they've been blown up or something, and not in a very successfully good way. They've been blown up without care, I feel like, and it's just, we're going to use it, I'll use it, but I'm not happy with the quality. You really kind of can't tell on camera, but you really can in person. You can really tell. Here are the 1940 application for destruction of records. These are this is railroad ephemera. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, isn't this so cool? Isn't this so cool? Look. So I have 2 folders of these, and I've got all this paper, and I'll probably scan these in and everything. I'll double check and make sure I can use them and everything, but then yeah, I'll scan them in. So I have 2 of those that I can use, and we'll definitely be using it. I'm going to use the paper on the outside. I'm going to use a lot of it. So there's those. Here is the other pack of railroad ephemera that I purchased. This one I bought off of Etsy, and so it's authentic vintage railroad ephemera. So it has lots of fancy stuff. Let's try to get it out without sticking to that plastic thing. So let's see, we have this. This is very cool, Aurora, Illinois. So I live in Aurora, Colorado, and whenever you search Aurora in Google or anywhere, whenever I look up the weather or whatever, it always pulls up Illinois first. Always. I think Aurora, Illinois is like a pretty big city though. Look at these. I love. These are also great. I don't know what the date is on a lot of these. Pretty old. So we have a bunch of railroad ephemera and papers that we can use. If some are strong enough, we'll use them even as pages just in the journal, because that's really cool. So we have that. We have this ribbon, this train ribbon, which I bought from Lisa's shop. I love it. I have this whole roll of vintage train stamps, Cog Railway. And they're reproduction, but they're still vintage. They're a vintage reproduction of a vintage. A lot like the Edith Holdens, right? The 1970s like reproductions of those books. And then I have these, which I may or may not use. And then I have I have one other book, which is a children's book, and I forgot to, bring it down. Did I bring it down? Is it down here? I don't think so. I think it's upstairs. And then I have a bunch of other books that I need to go through. I have the Oregon book, the Lumberjack book I need to go through and cut train pictures out of. So I feel like let's do that right now. I'm going to do a little bit of that right now and make some tearaway notebooks. So I'm going to make some train-themed tearaway notebooks. Let me grab my Oregon book real quick. And my Lumberjack book. Let's see. Here is oh no, don't fall. Okay, we'll just grab the Lumberjack book for now. I lost it, stack it, but it is the Lumberjack book. And this is the book I used to make the Lumberjack book, or journal. And it is just filled with the greatest pictures and little diagrams of, look at that. Isn't that great? But there's a ton of trains in this because, you know, trains and lumberjacks, oh, here's what I was talking about. I think it was either Terry or Lisa, I was telling them. So one thing that I learned about when I did the lumberjack journal is that, you know, we didn't have boats really that could carry that much weight, you know, for a period of time. And so we had river drivers, and they would float the logs down the river and, you know, use, I love this too. It was a Sunday morning, like all little songs and poems. Look at that. See, and then they would push the logs through the river and kind of guide them to where they needed to go. It was like a whole thing. So that's probably before trains. Trains came, I think, after that, if I remember. Okay, here, this is all like the houses and like the provisions, and oh, look at this thing. This cool pulley system, that's cool. That has train tracks in the background. Great photos. I love this book. Yes. It took a little research to find a book that had, I found it on eBay, but I had researched lumberjack books beforehand to find one that had the images that I wanted, you know. Oh, look at this. Okay, we'll use this one. This is a great train image. Look at that. It's cool. Very cool. Okay. Nope. The Bunkhouse Boys. The boys who lived in the bunkhouse. Look at that. That's so cool. Cool images. Okay. Trains. Come on. It's funny. The last time I went through this book, I found so many trains. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use all these train photos. Of course, if, you know, I had a mind for it, I would have been better prepared. We found one. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, what's going on? There is some in the Oregon book as well. There should be some. I have a couple of old books that I have trains in. Wow, really? I know that there are so many more train photos in that. Just get out of there. That's cool. Plane on the water, one of those flying water planes. Let's see, what is this? No, see, this is all raftsmen, river dudes, the river dudes, the logging frontier. Jeez. And I'm pretty sure I didn't pull them out, and so I don't know. Okay, well, that was a fail. There's one. Let's grab another one of them. Let's grab Oregon, The Way It Was by Edwin D. Culp. This one also has just so many good, and I like this book better because its images are matte. They're not as, that's cool. That's a little more of a trolley, maybe. Cool cars. Look at that house. I love that house. Salem. Okay. Give me trains. Give me trains. Come on. I just need a couple. Just a couple. That's cool. Oh, look at that. That's great. Okay, here's one. Okay, so there's one. Here is another one. That's kind of cool. The Falls Railway in West Lynn as it looked in 1910. That's crazy. I'll keep my finger on it. Look at this one. See, that's another great one. Another great train. Okay. What is this? A horse-drawn street cleaner. Wow, 1911. Wow, okay. City Hospital. Right, because some towns were, you know, had more railway, right? Was more of a center of commerce is my guess, and then other places, right, they may have had a train station, but it wasn't like a big to-do. I don't know. I have not actually read this book. Oh, I like this one too. Yeah, so we have a couple. I know, I am torturing this book. I do all my books. It's pretty bad. Okay. So we have some things to work with. So that's good. I'm just going to make little tearaway notebooks is what originally I was going to do. However, these are all landscape, aren't they? They're not really portrait sized. I mean, but they could still go. That could still be a tearaway, like the cover to a tearaway notebook. It could. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just make little notebooks or something. Maybe a little tearaway. You know, tearaway notebooks, do they have to be up and down? Could they be oriented from the side? You know, so that you tear them out like this instead of up and down like that. I don't know. This one is cool. This one is definitely big enough, I think, to make right? Okay, let's just move all this stuff. We'll move these. So I have 3. I might not even do all 3. I'll probably just do 1. That's how it is, huh? Okay, so I have this one, which I love, and that one will definitely be, and we'll try a tearaway notebook from the side. Yeah, and I'll put this one aside for now. So I have scrap paper. Where did it go? Here it is. Here is my, these were the notes from, I gotta buy these books. I was watching the live yesterday. I wrote them down real quick because I didn't have a pen. I didn't have like my notebook with me. Right, I started carrying a notebook around all the time to make notes because I have the worst memory. And do you think I remember to carry it around? No, I don't. It's terrible. We were laughing about it the other day. Okay. Should I do the ruler thing? The ruler thing. Do I have? I want to get a good long metal ruler, right, as a tear ruler. I don't really want to get one of those like proper tear rulers. I want to get a metal ruler. Okay, so we have this, I'm just going to tear it rough, right? So that we have this torn edge down here. That's what I think. Okay, grab. Yeah, that will work. It will work. It's just a tearaway notebook, so it's kind of, I want it to be like scrappy. Okay. Now we can put a couple of other pages in there. We could put this in there. Right? Some graph paper. And what else do we got? Oh, this one is cool. It's got like a weird, it's got that pinker shear cut, right? From the pinking? pinking shears, not pinker. Pinker. Okay. Will that work? That will work. So if we have this and we have this here as our little cover, and then underneath it, see, is our little tearaway notebook. We could back it, huh? Should we back it? Because it's kind of, it's like, whoa, there's stuff on the back of that photo and it doesn't look great. I'll just use my art glitter glue, the trusty, especially because I don't want to sew it. So I don't have to worry about my edges coming undone. I don't care if this part is, I don't care. Okay, here we go. So we have this, and now I need a piece of like cardstock or something. I have this black, I think that it will work good. This like black, I have a bunch of these black cardstock that have like a score in the middle. I think they were made for cards or something. It might even have the, does it have the, distributed by Michaels. Okay, well it's, oh here we go, Recollections. It's a Recollections cards and envelopes. It was given to me by Debbie. Debbie the scrapbooking lady. Okay, so we're gonna cut this here. Is that right? Let me double check. Let's double check. Let's double check. Okay, yes. Actually, maybe a little bit bigger than that, like right there. And then I'm thinking that much. That much. Yeah, I'm gonna fold it in half. Probably best to use a scoreboard, but I'm a rebel. Okay. Goodness, it's hot. So our air conditioner broke the other day, so that was not fun. And my husband had to replace the pump. And the terrible thing is that, about this whole thing, is that, oh, that looks great, is that the swamp cooler is up in my sister's bedroom on the very top floor. So we didn't have a ladder tall enough to reach it. We had to like call and borrow one. So we needed an 18-foot ladder to even get up there to reach the unit. And then, yeah, we just replaced the pump. It was like, I think $40 or something. Not too bad. Not as bad as I was dreading if we had to call an AC guy. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Not an expense I was expecting. So I'm happy that we were able to fix it for cheap. On the cheap. And it was funny because we were going to look at ladders. We went to look at ladders, and I kept telling him, I was like, dude, ladders are expensive. Ladders are expensive. And he was like, let's just look. And we walked over there. $400 for like a 20-foot ladder. Crazy. I was like, wow. $400. Goodness. So we're going to grab Ted, Mr. Sewing Machine. Mr. Sewing Machine. Mr. Ted, the sewing machine. I'm not sure how our angle is. Let me fix you. Okay. We have our bobbin thread, right? Okay. We've got our top thread. And I'm going to stitch it twice. So actually, I'm going to stitch this one. Okay. I'm going to stitch this one without the black cover first. And I want all of the papers, right, to be all at the top as much as possible. Okay, and then we want our cover. And then we're going to stitch it at the very top, along the top. Okay. I'm going to do it just straight stitch. All right. Then we'll do it again. And that, I mean, that's good to go, right? I mean, you could theoretically stick that in a journal. You could tear pages out of that. That works. But if you want to get fancy, you can grab this black thing or, you know, a piece of cardstock or whatever. Make sure your threads are kind of tucked in there so it looks nice. Get tucked in there. Thank you. Okay. And then we will stitch along. I'm thinking about, I like down closer to the edge of this, right? So, straight stitch. If you want to be extra about it, you can turn it around and go back over it again. And what that essentially does is it makes more holes in your paper, which makes it easier to tear out pages, right? So you could now tear out pages and you don't have to worry about the whole thing coming undone because you have another layer of stitching up here and it won't tear apart your whole book. You just tear out one page at a time if you want. So let's snip our threads. I love it. It's so cute. It's super cute. A little tearaway notebook. I had meant to put like a solid cover piece on the back, but what can you do? What can you do? That's what I should have done. We could try one from the side. That's what I'm thinking. From the side, I have this is not big enough. These are those scraps from that, from the steampunk, the page by page thing that me and Terry are doing. So I have all these little tiny pieces, right? They're not big enough. What are these? Those aren't big enough either. Well, I would hate to get, have to grab. This is why we always have so many scraps, because, you know, they just don't work for what we want them for. Oh, goodness. Okay, here we go. Here is some tea-dyed paper. This is tea-dyed. And the way I do my tea-dyed is I make a very, very, very strong brew of tea and of cheap Lipton tea. And then I soak my papers in it one at a time, right, in a pan. And then I leave it sit overnight. I leave them sit overnight, and then I bake them the next morning. And so you get some that are just so, I love it. It's wonderful. That's how I get my tea papers. So we'll just cut it. We'll just cut it. Why not? Why not have more scraps? See, the thing to do is to build your notebooks with your scraps first, right? And then you pick images and you cut your images down to fit your notebooks. And that's the better way to do it, huh? Where you're not, well, I suppose it depends. I mean, if you want a specific size of notebook, that wouldn't work very well, would it? I don't think so. There we go. Okay, there's this. And we'll put a black cardstock on the back as well. And we have like 4 pages. We could put some other pieces in now, right? Let's fold these in half. These are scraps from my coffee dyed lacy patterned paper. We'll just fold these in half and put those in there, and that'll be good. We'll stagger them. That's pretty. Okay, so we will stagger them. So one we'll put in the front. My finger is good, by the way. It's doing a lot better. It doesn't hurt. I still can't use it as much. And you know, the instinct of always keeping it out all the time, and then it makes it easier to bump, so that's not fun. And it's ugly. It is very ugly. So it will be covered for the foreseeable future. I've had a couple of people, someone, and I forget who, and I wish I had, again, did not have my notebook, and I wish I had written it down. I really am going to start writing everything down. I have the worst memory. That like, oh, you should decorate it. Like, decorate your Band-Aid. And I thought that was funny because my sister came up with that same idea. She was like, you could decorate it. Why am I doing it like this? Now all the other side pieces are all going to be on the back side, huh? Look. It'll all be staggered, but then in the very back, maybe that's kind of cool though. Come on. Right, so we have all these, and then in the back, in the very back, we have these little ones, which we could make our front. Little ones. That's fine. It is what it is. That's what I think. So we want a piece that will fit the back of this piece as a back cover instead of having it just open like we did our last one. But yeah, I had realized that I didn't make any tearaway notebooks for the romance journal. I thought, well, I will not make that mistake again. They will be the first things I make in this one. And then I know I will have some in the journal. I mean, there were a bunch of notebooks, but so there we go. And then, yeah, we'll stitch it along this side instead of along the top. And it'll tear from the side instead. Let's ink this black. I'm using my black soot. I use black soot a lot, actually. Probably more than one should. I grunge up things. I really do. So I am going to start the friendship journal. That is going to start, and that'll be the next video will be for that. I'm excited to start that. So that will come out soon. Okay, so that is that exactly the right size? We may have to trim it short, like not to be as wide, but look at that. It's the perfect size. Okay, it just needs trimmed. It does need trimmed. It does not need to be that thick. Let's not cut our finger. I think it would be pretty hard to cut your finger with this thing, but I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, so this is going to be where we stitch it. Come here, Ted. Mr. Ted, the sewing machine, who has always been so good to me. Okay. Let's do the same thing. Let's stitch it straight across. That one's a little thicker. I had to help it a little bit. But it did pretty good. Actually, it did really good. Oh, there you go. There's where it kind of got, and I had to pull it through from here probably because of that extra layer. That's fine. We will be conscious of that. Sewing our, here it is. I all made a big to-do about putting it on the top, and we're doing it from the side. Goodness gracious. At least I didn't stitch it on. Oh my gosh. I can only imagine. I bet everyone was screaming at the screen. No, don't put it on the top. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Okay. How is that? How are you looking now? Is that correct? Are we good? We're good. Let's do it. Straight stitch. Come on. Oh, did it break my thread? It did. It did. It didn't like it. It's so thick. It's okay. We got it in. We got it in one row. I went a little crooked there, but not too bad. And it did break our thread at the end. See, my thread is now all the way over here and not in the machine. So anyway, we'll be done with Mr. Ted. Thank you so much, Mr. Ted. I guess it's stuck, the name, I don't know. Mr. Sewing Machine. Where did my little scissors go? Oh. Oh, I put my sewing machine on them. Okay. Let's cut these threads. Look at that. There is our next tearaway notebook. And I didn't put a cover on the back, but that's okay. I think it's fine. So there's two. I think that's good. Short, cute little video for today. I love this one. It doesn't have a back, but that's okay. I can fix that. You know what? We'll fix it. I'll show you how to fix it. How do we fix it, you ask? I will show you. Let's, oh look, this is the perfect size even. And you know what? I like that it sticks out below. Let's keep that. Let's keep it. So this is what you do. You take your art glitter glue and you run it along the top like this. Like I've ever done this before. I've never done this before. It's an idea. It's an idea to fix my problem of forgetting to put. I think that this will work fine. Ta-da! Just press that. I think it's good. Look at that. Now it has a back, and you never knew. You never knew. No one ever needed to know. It's coming out a little bit there. That's okay. We can always come in, right, and trim it. But yeah, I think that's it. That'll be it for today. The very beginning start of our train journal. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be cute. Yeah, I did get a children's book as well that has some like train illustrations in it, so we'll use that a little bit, but I think sparingly. I want to keep with the sooty black and white kind of coal kind of look, right? Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day, and I had fun, and talk to you guys later. Bye.